Everybody, Patty Ann here. A girl named Cindy, who's in one of the groups I belong to, had a question because she was having a hard time tracing this image, and I can see why because I tried a few times, and if you look closely, you'll see what part of the issue could be. Check out his foot, and notice that the black line, goes all the way around here, and there's not that much of a contrast between his shoe and the background. So at first I tried like just putting a line here to separate it, but then I had to mess with the nodes a lot. And I thought there's got to be an easier way, and indeed there is. So Cindy, here's all you have to do to be able to do this. So you're going to do two traces. The first trace is just a regular trace. So I'm going to just come up here to the trace tool that looks like a piece of toast to me. Open up the trace panel and say select the trace area. Then I'm going to draw a box around him. I should move him over so we can see better. All right, the threshold of that is too high right now because notice how all of this is yellow. We want to be able to see more detail than that. So I'm going to move my threshold down. As you can see now, this is perfect. I can see all of the details of this thing. So I'm just going to say trace. But if I just leave the trace like this, and I'm going to move this over, I'll move this over so you can see. You're going to see how I might have a hard time coloring some of this stuff. Let's just check it out and see. Maybe I can do it just like this. So the first thing those of you who follow me know that I always do is I just click on this thing and come up here to the color palette and change the outside into a color I never use in my image. So I'm probably not going to use this palish color, so I'll just change it like that. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and come up here to Object, release the compound path. And that makes the little squares over everything I can color. So now I'm just going to color, and since I moved the threshold down, I am able to do it just like this. Click on a shoe, grab a shoe. If I want it to be the exact color, I'll just come here, get the eyedropper, and grab the color of the shoe. I'll make the pants the same color, come up here, grab the eyedropper, and get this. Now I can tell you that if you don't have the threshold in the right area, you might have to do a second trace to grab his shoes independently or separately. But since I fixed the trace and it worked perfectly this time, I don't have to do that. So I can just continue going through here, grab his face, hold down my shift key, get his arm and his other arm, come up here to the color area, get the eyedropper, and change the color. Get his shirt, come over here to the eyedropper, change it to white. See, this is the dough. So I got it there, shift, click here, shift, here, and shift. Still my shift key is held down all of this time. And I'll come up here to the color palette and get the eyedropper and get the color of the dough. So it's working quite easily, actually, easier than I had the first time I tried it. So you don't even have to do a double trace. One trace will work. Now I'm just coloring in the dough. Click here, hold down my shift key, get here, still holding down my shift key and get there. Come up here, and the last color I used was the color of the sauce, right there. It looks like I need sauce color over here. Shift here, and grab that sauce. And let's see. So now what I would do is I'd go ahead and change the backing, the stuff that I made that color of green that I'm not going to use in my image. Whoops, not that. This very back piece. This piece right here. I'm going to change it to black now. So I'm going to select it. By the way, if you ever select something and you get the nodes or the points like this, just hit the letter V as in Victor on your keyboard, and that will automatically pop back to that arrow tool. And then I can change this to black, and then put it back in here where it belongs. You can use my arrow key to adjust it perfectly. All right, let's see. Move it up a little bit. Okay, the other thing that you might notice that I have to do is some of these little pieces of pepperoni or whatever they are colored or do have black around them, which is what I want. Some of them do not. What I want to do is, because I don't want to have to cut out a little tiny piece of black, just going to scroll in here so I can see. I'm going to click on the outer edge of this. When it's selected, I'll hold down my shift and get the sauce color. So I have the outer edge and the sauce selected. I'll come over here to the modify panel and say subtract. So what that does is it put a hole right in there. You see how there's a hole in it now? Right there, so we don't have to cut out a little piece of black like that. So I'll do the same thing to this other one. Select the outside, hold down the shift, select the sauce or the pink, come to the modify and then subtract. Do the same with this one, shift. I can even get the outside of this one with my shift key still held down. I can get the pink and then say subtract. Okay, so I believe the only thing left I have to do is to change these, and I just think just for the sake of time, I'll change every one of these to red because I'll pretend like they are pepperoni. I think in the original they're all different colors, but I'll just make mine red. Doot. Okay, let's scroll back out and see what we have. I've got a couple more got a color. But other than that, everything looks good except for his hair right here. So let me color these right quick. So I'll get this one, shift, this one, still holding my shift, and this one. I'll come up here and grab the red. The last color I used is right here, red. All right, let's see about his hair. So what I can do with his hair actually, one of the things I could do is click on this, hold down my shift key, grab the black, and say subtract. But that's going to leave us with a little tiny piece that's going to cut. You see that? But maybe that's what you want. If you're doing it in vinyl, that shouldn't be a problem at all. So I click on this piece, hold down my shift, click on the black, say subtract. The greenish color, shift, the black, and subtract. So that's pretty much it. I hope this helps. Let's scroll back out and see again what we got. I think, oh, look, there's one more spot over here that didn't turn to black. Look at his shoe. So let's scroll in there and see. We need to have that. Since it wasn't attached, it didn't turn to black. So I've clicked on the outermost edge. I know I've gotten that green color because look up here, it's selected. So I can just change it to black. And there it is, just like that. So I hope this helps. I love using this program, don't you guys? Thanks for joining me. Hey, if you like my videos, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.